Hi, I'm Alicia, and welcome to the Mintay Papers YouTube channel. Today I am sharing a tutorial for how to create a beautiful door chippy album using Mintay Papers Lavender Farm collection, the 6x8 add-on paper pad. I'm going to take you step by step through the process of how to create this album. So let's get started. These are the products that we're going to need to create the album. This is the Mintay Chippies album base. It is a door. It has the filigree cut and then it has the extra pages behind. This is the Lavender Farm 6x8 add-on paper pack. Beautiful colours and designs inside this pack, and we're going to be using them today. We're also using this chippy here, D37 Photo 2, and we're using some Mintay Kreativa paints. We've got lilac and white and turquoise. They're the three colours that I've chosen to go with the papers. Our first step is we're going to take our white piece of cardstock and cut it to 5.5 by 11.5 inches. You can use any colour piece of cardstock for this section of the album. 5.5 by 11.5. A kind crafty friend of mine had sent me some of the Tyvek envelope paper to have a try with my album spine. So I'm going to be using some of this today. I'm going to glue that down onto my cardstock so that my spine has a stronger feel to it. So I'm just going to cut that to exactly the same measurement, 5.5 by 11.5, and then I'm going to glue that to my cardstock. I'm going to use my scoring board now to score my spine for my album. These are the measurements: 3/4 of an inch, 1.5, 2 inches, 2 3/4, 3.5, 4, 4 3/4, 5.5, 6, 6 3/4, 7.5, 8, 8 3/4, 9.5, 10, 10 3/4, and that brings us to our 11.5. I'm going to fold our spine now. Our first fold is a mountain fold, so we fold up. Our second fold is a valley fold. There's our valley fold. Then we skip a line, or we leave a space. We make a mountain fold and a valley fold. And then we're going to leave a space. Mountain and valley, we're going to leave a space. We just continue that all the way along. Smooth it down one way, smooth it down the other way. Make sure that everything is pressed very well. And another one, mountain and valley. pull down, leave a space, mount to the belly, leave a space, mount to the belly. So you can see our spine taking shape now that we've got everything folded. Our next job is to glue those little hills together. Okay, so we're going to need to hold those down so that everything glues properly. Take your time doing this. Make sure that everything's glued down securely and in position. Our next step is to take our lilac paint, and we're going to add that to our album cover. We've got our door cover here, the front of it, and then the inside of all of the little edges. So it takes a little bit of time to get all that paint in and around all of those little edges. So our next step is we will need to choose 12 pieces of paper from our paper pad, and I will need to use pretty much all of the designs that are in the paper pad. I am skipping the fussy cut images, just looking for background papers at this stage. Okay, so there we have our 12 different pieces, and I absolutely love the colours and the designs in this paper pad. I love the aqua and the purple together. Moving on to our next stage now. Take one piece of your album, one page from your album, place it onto a piece of paper and trace the edges all the way around with a pen. This will give you the outline that you need to cut your papers, and then you can fussy cut along that black line. Just check to make sure it fits, and then if you need to make any little extra trims, do so. Then you can use that as your template and cut out all 12 pieces of paper to the same shape and design as the album. Choose the paper that you would like for the front cover of your album. Apply some glue and paste it on. And then we're going to paste the door cut over the top of our paper. Next, we need to choose some paper that we can cover the spine of our album with. I'm going to go with the same paper that I chose for the front cover of the album. Then I'm going to glue that onto the inside of our door, front door piece. Then I will cover that little bit of binding up when I cover the second or the back of the front cover of the album. Lots of glue needed in this project. Now we will move on to our next page. So first of all, gluing that onto our spine, holding it until the glue attaches, and then covering that page with a different piece of paper. And then adding a piece to the back. And then we just continue on like that as we move through the album, adding the pages one at a time as we go, and then covering the pages. Now for the inside of the spine, we can add a tiny little strip of paper in between so that we're not seeing the white coloured cardstock. Okay, and this is how it's looking so far. Moving on to our next step now, we're going to paint our photo chippy, and I'm going to paint it in a variety of colours. I'm going to paint some of it in the lilac colour. I'm just using a foam brush to apply the chalkboard paint onto my chippy. Lilac is at the top. Then I'm having white in the middle. And then I'm going to have the turquoise right down the bottom. So I've got a mixture of all sorts of different colours that I can use onto my project. Just getting a good coverage on that chippy and then leaving it to dry. Waiting for that to dry, let's take a look at our fussy cutting pages that we have in our paper pad. We've got two different types here that we can cut around and use as images. We've also got the images that we can use in the paper die cuts. So here I am just fussy cutting out one of those images. Our next step is to use a knife to remove the Polaroid photos from our chipboard. Now we're up to adding the elements onto our pages. I'm keeping my designs very simple. You can use quite a bit of height in your designs because of the pages, because of the binding that we've done. There is enough room in between the pages so that you can add some chunkier flowers and ribbons and lace, and your album will still look closed. Sometimes in this one I add a little bit of ribbon to just give a different texture. And I'm also using the cardboard sticker sheet that goes with Lavender Fields so that I have some sentiments that I can use. I'm not adding photos to my album, but in my mind I had pictured that the photos would go behind the Chippy Polaroid outlines. So I'm just working through the album and playing around with the designs and what looks best to me when I am adding in some of the paper die cuts or some of the fussy cut images. And it's just a matter of playing around with the different elements to see what you like in your design. The front cover I wanted to be really special, so I was sort of umming and ahhing over which paper die cuts that I should use for the front cover, and could I incorporate some purple ribbon to go with that front cover design. There we go. And our little sentiment down the bottom. Just making sure that each page has a sentiment. And now on to the front cover. Took me quite a while to sort of play around with these paper die cuts and fussy cut images to get the front cover how I wanted it to look. So I did a lot of layering of the embellishments. Made a cute little basket full of flowers by layering them together. And then I added a dark ribbon, dark purple ribbon, and a light purple ribbon. Just gluing my design down onto the front cover now. And that's looking really quite pretty now. It's beautiful. Just add in our sentiments with a bit of glue. And that brings us to the conclusion of our album tutorial today. We have made a beautiful door-shaped album using Mintay Papers Lavender Field collection. And there's plenty of room in this album for lots and lots of photos. You can turn it into a memory book. You could give it away as a gift, or you could keep it for yourself. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you gained some inspiration from the beautiful Mintay products. Make sure you are subscribed to the Mintay YouTube channel so that you're up to date with the latest videos. Thank you for watching and have a lovely crafty day.